Do you trust your eyes? Well, of course, Mr. Lane, we trust our eyes. Use them every day, right? Well, you might look at this, and you're going to call this a red 3. Now, believe it or not, if I change the lighting, like not under fluorescent light or warm light instead, that red completely. The camera, digital cameras and cameras would change that. In fact, you can almost see the change here when I do that and the reflections up there. All of those colors change. Now it's more of a red, orange red, or if you look like that, it's more of a straight red. And outside, if we turn the lights way down, our eyes might just see like grays, believe it or not. Sometimes it's hard to see red, if you put a red t-shirt up in the middle of the night, you look, you go, is that my red one or my gray one? You can't tell sometimes because things change. It's in context. But our brains don't work that way. In fact, if we had a different name for this every time the light changed, and we'd have to identify it differently, we would spend all day trying to figure out the world. And so our color and just calls this red. This is red. And it's red whether the light's dark or medium or sunset or whatever, it's going to be red. Just to kind of prove that, look at this. Now, which one of these is darker? The A or the B? Well, the truth is, they're the same. What? Yeah, they are the same. I know it's hard to believe. This is really cool. I think you're going to like this. They were able to do this illusion. Looks like a regular checkerboard. This thing in front of it. Right? Now, I love this, how they made this illusion look three-dimensional like in real life. And our brain is just calling that one. But these squares are the same. Look at that. Whoa! Watch it again. She didn't change it's the exact same piece of paper, just moved out of the way.
Perception of the world around us is strongly linked to our vision, but how do you know what you're seeing is real? Can you really trust your eyes? Take for example these two gray rectangular columns, both of which are different shades of gray. Or are they? It turns out that they're the exact same, and yet, even after knowing the illusion is there, your eyes refuse to see them as the same. Introducing colors produces the same result. I promise, no trick photography or editing effects have been applied. In fact, if you look up the Munker white illusion, you'll come across many more examples. Examine them in Photoshop, and you can see that the colors are the exact same. A similar effect can be seen with this checkerboard illusion. Tile A clearly seems darker than tile B, but you know better by now, right? Even though your eyes can't see it, you know when I remove the surrounding imagery, the tiles will be the same color. So what's going on here? The truth is that scientists don't fully understand this phenomenon, and there are many complex biological and neurological factors taking place. Ultimately, our brains judge color and brightness in context. In other words, our brains compare the surrounding environment in order to create our perception. The purpose of our senses, or eyes in this case, is not to provide us with an absolute color or physical property of our external reality, but to interpret what we see as efficiently as possible in order to interact with our environment most appropriately. The tile illusion takes advantage of this phenomenon. Our brains know that shadows make objects look darker. As a result, the brain compensates by interpreting the tile as being lighter than it appears, until we take the shadow away. Perhaps the most blatant example is this gradient. The middle bar is simply one color. Remove the background gradient and it becomes obvious. Once again, the darkness of the background has affected our perception of the bar's color. Our perception is relative. So, do you still trust your eyes? Got it, Bernard?
So, do you still trust your eyes? The thing for us as artists is you need to really look at your painting and don't be all caught up in getting the exact right red. Be more caught up in getting the right light and darkness correct. Or if you have another object in your painting and you're like, I can't get this. This is a slightly peachy, orangey color, right? That's difficult to paint exactly, especially with the paints I give you. Don't stress it. Just make it an orange, right? I'm more concerned about the lights and the darks than I am to get that color correct.